The decolonization of Africa followed World War II, as colonized people agitated for independence and colonial powers withdrew their administrators from Africa. The process was often quite disorganized and mirrored violent social turmoil, widespread unrest, and organized revolts in both the northern and sub-Saharan countries. One of the most important effects of decolonization was the instability of the post-colonial political systems, which entailed other far-reaching consequences. These include deep economic problems inhibiting growth and widening disparities between the northern and southern part of the globe. These disparities were reflected clearly on the African continent. Some of these disparities were rapid urbanization with serious economic and social consequences. Expanding the city, and especially its suburbs, the area inhabited by people of very low incomes. Hence, the quality of life in these areas is extremely low. The problem then became to satisfy their basic human rights, such as access to education, healthcare, and clean water. Welfare system did not exist, and clan traditions that replaced it were suspended by the Western European model of urban life. Automation focused on obtaining a livelihood for his own family and competition. Regardless of the African region, similar problems exist in almost all major cities in its area. As time went on, Africa began producing a small group of well-educated leaders, many the beneficiaries of scholarships from the USA and the USSR. These leaders came home to Africa in the 1950s and immediately began agitating for independence, organizing African citizens into political movements. As more Africans began agitating for independence, Africa became consumed with post-war debt. European powers were no longer able to afford the resources to maintain control of their African colonies. This allowed for African nationalists to negotiate decolonization very quickly with minimal casualties. Some territories, however, saw great death tolls as a result of their fight for independence. Immediately after decolonization, the new African states agreed to a policy of inviolable borders, meaning they would not try to redraw Africans' political maps as they would lead to chaos. The leaders of these countries were thus left with the challenging of trying to forge a sense of national identity at a time when those seeking a stake in the new country were often playing to individuals' religion or ethnical loyalties. The leaders agreed to the Atlantic Charter, which is part stipulated by the government, would respect the right of all peoples to choose the form of government. This agreement became the post-World War II stepping stone toward independence as nationalism grew throughout Africa.